Hi, this is Maury Moreland Morrison, here to tell you Geico has more than just great savings. Much more. Yes, while Geico could help you rack up more moolah faster than you can say metamorphosis, they've also been the fastest growing auto insurer for more than 10 years. That's more like it. Furthermore, Geico has fast and friendly claim service. That might seem like an oxymoron, but it's not. All the more reason to say no other auto insurer has more than Geico. Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
Welcome to the war room. We got Dev, Kill, Jimmy, PJ, B. Austin, the hot block commander. How you want it in a 1 or 2 hour show to get the brain running with the premise to talk sports on a national level. Roll with the topic, sorta like the rebels. When it's game time, they like the Fab Five during prime time. Sports conglomerates speak their minds a little bit. For sports medicine and sports veterans and greats. The 4 for 26 or the war in Kuwait. It's the war room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys diversified and educated.
What up, War Room family? You are once again live in the War Room, brought to you by War Room Sports on the War Room Sports Podcast Network. I'm one of your hosts, Dev McMillan. I'm at the round table with my brother, B. Austin. Jimmy the Blueprint will be joining us in a matter of minutes. The national anthem conversation is still casting its ugly shadow over sports, especially professional foosball. We'll discuss the latest in that situation, so keep it locked right here. And make sure you join us right now in the JW Philly Realty chat room at blogtalkradio.com/The War Room, or join us on Facebook or Twitter at War Room Sports. You can also call us directly in about 3 minutes when we open up the Digital Extreme Tech hotline. That number, as usual, is 323-410-0012. During the week, we're not live on the air. Be sure to check out the War Room Sports Podcast Network. Besides our own podcast, The War Room, you can also listen to shows such as The Broad Street Line with Roy and Chris, The Tissue and the Tape Hip Hop Show with Philmatic and Savad, John Appetit with The Burtons, On the Couch with the Wilsons, Cover 2 with McMillan and Purdue, By the Hood with Jimmy the Blueprint and Corey Camp, Race Haven Radio with Dr. Scott Speed, and the return of the After Further Review podcast with the mayor, and a whole lot more. So shout out to the mayor and welcome back, good brother. Just visit warroomsports.com, click on the WRS Podcast Network tab, or go to our free mobile app and click the network tab there. What up, B. Austin? Who we boycotting this week, brother? Who's a no-no this week?
Dove, a Unilever. Unilever is the official boycott.
Every week it's something. So what are your thoughts on that whole thing? They had the little Dove commercial where the commercial was the black woman taking off her shirt, turning into a white woman. Then the white woman took off her shirt and turned to what I thought was a Latina, but I heard it was a Middle Eastern woman. So I guess I'm a racist too. But the thing is, what everybody's upset about is the still shot that was circulated around the net, which put everybody in a pretty much an outrage, because the still shot only shows the black woman taking off her shirt and turning into a white woman. So in America, today's America, yesterday's America, any day's America, what up, Blueprint? Y'all know how that'll be taken by black people, for one, people of color, if you use that term. So what are your thoughts on it, B. Austin? Because I saw you was like about to start a movement on social media against.
Yeah. I was ready to go in, and still I'm prepared to go in. You know, you and I talked about it off air, and you said kind of take a deeper look into the commercial. And here's what I feel, and one of the things that I think that maybe our audience knows, maybe they don't. Companies like Unilever spend millions, if not hundreds of millions, if not in some cases billions,
of money
on advertising and marketing. And a part of that is the psychological and sociological studies that they do to understand their audience, their primary audience, their secondary audience, their tertiary audience. So I don't give companies the leeway and excuse of saying, okay, you know, they didn't know, or this wasn't intentionally that, or this could have, because every angle of perception that is out there, they are aware of, because they spend millions and millions of money to understand those angles. So when you said to me, kind of look at the whole thing and, you know, it wasn't, yeah, you're right. It probably was not intended as a support pillar for colorism and a degrading moment for black people and you know, insulting our complexions. It probably was not. But the climate that is being created, it isn't my fault that I took it that way. So I'm not prepared to apologize for the way that I interpreted it and my impressions.
Because for me, like, I woke up, saw the stuff, and was just like everybody else. I was ready to go in. But, you know, I live with somebody far more rational than myself who, you know, immediately I saw the brain working. I saw the phone working. I saw some research being done. And, you know, first question was, well, did you see this? And she hadn't heard anything of it. But she knew, you know, not
for those
to just
that don't know,
silly without.
For those that don't know, our original executive producer and Devin's wife has an IQ of like 192.
So she, you know, so she came back like, did you see this? And I'm like, what you talking about? And there was, you know, the whole commercial. I saw that. So, you know, we had a little discussion about it. And, you know, I came to the conclusion, like, that's not that bad. If there's nothing else to it but that's not that bad. You know, to me, it's no different than what Michael Jackson was trying to accomplish on the black and white video. So I wouldn't look like a fool still trying to be upset. Like, I went even deeper, B, than to just look at the actual commercial. Like, I just started doing research, period. And over the last decade, Dove has been, like, supposedly been this pillar of diversity. And, you know, they've made a lot of ads and commercials, not only with people of diverse colors. They made ads with fat chicks, excuse my language, but I mean, that's what they are. They made ads with fat chicks, basically trying to, you know, telling them to love themselves and they're no different and this and that. Like, I went real deep on it because, you know, the people who didn't even want to look at it in a rational way, everybody was just taking everything out. They were taking out old ads and like, what about this one? And then taking out bottles. There's some stuff like, Jimmy, I know you saw the joint with the bottle saying that it helps you with dry to normal or dark to normal skin, something like that, where it seemed like dark skin wasn't normal. Can't explain that one, never even tried. The one with the 3 women standing there and the 2 boards behind them says before and after, another overreaction in my opinion, because the boards didn't have anything to do with the women per se. If you look at the board, the before board had like scaly skin on it. The after board had smooth skin on it. The problem that they had in that whole thing was the fact that they had 3 women lined up and they had the black woman all the way to the left, which a lot of people thought was like, oh, she's all the way to the left. So they're trying to say she's before photo and the white person is the after photo. So in today's sensitive times, and I think we are fully within our rights to be sensitive in this country, you do have to look at certain things like that and know how people are going to take it.
All right, now
maybe at the same time people might be offended if they say, "Oh, you're trying to say, you know, we're the before product of black people." You know, you're gonna have people that say that too, but you know, I think we're the ones that you probably want to cater to a little earlier.
Let me chime in real quick because a lot of this was talked about in the ISIS papers. How it may seem, if you're a rational person, hey, it's not that much, but a lot of this is subliminal. You know what I'm saying? A lot of this is a lot of subs being thrown. I don't think this particular ad was meant to come off the way that it did. But at the same time, in this climate that we're living in, you have to be more careful than to put that out there. Also, because I did a little bit of research as well, and the reason that they've been like, trying to push diversity and things like that are because some of their actions previous to that, and they were trying to get some goodwill by pushing diversity and hey, love yourself, that whole thing. But even beyond that, I think the bigger issue that appeared to me is when you start to look at the people that work in their marketing department. A lot of them look like they carry tiki torches on the weekend. What I mean by that is there's not a lot of us in there. Because my first thing is...
Show me a company where there is. Show me one of these major companies where there is. You can't even show me an Overbrook Productions photo that shows us that. Oops.
War Room Sports is one. But hold on, though. But my point is, it was overwhelming. It was definitely overwhelming to the point where... Because my initial thought was, even if you didn't mean it that way, how did this come out? I wouldn't have put this out specifically in this climate that we're in currently in 2017. But it's and I also
but Jim,
thought
the still photo looks
terrible.
The still photo looks terrible though, but that's not what they put out. They put out a
no.
I
get that. But you can't even. But the thing is, you can't even put. You shouldn't be putting out anything that could be misinterpreted that way. Even the one that's not the still photo, the 30-second gift that they were trying to put out. It still could have been taken a different way.
If anybody
they should have never had the black woman turn to the white woman, specifically because they got in controversy in the past for the same thing.
But you know what, Jim? We would have taken that wrong no matter where they placed her in that ad. If she would have gone last, we'd have been like, why the black person got to go last? We would have said something anyway.
All right, so
I definitely don't want to sound like an apologist for Dove. I definitely don't want to do that. Y'all know a lot of my stuff when I try to take a cautious approach to things is because of that one experience. And B. Austin know what I'm talking about. I'll tell the story real quick. I won't make it all long. My first and only encounter with the news. So something happened on my block right around Thanksgiving, maybe almost 10 years ago.
Yeah, stop ratting.
My neighbor, great dude, he thought somebody was stealing his car. He came out and did what, any rational black dude would do. He came out shooting at the tow truck. So this becomes
but he didn't have to come out with an AR-15, though.
Nah, and it wasn't anything like that. And it was just cause because, this was around the time when I was living in townhouses. They had parking spaces. All of his stuff was legit. He had the right tag hanging from his decal. So, if you have everything right and somebody's towing your car away, you think something crazy is up. So that's what happened. He's a really good dude. So it becomes a big deal. The news knocks on my door. This is Thanksgiving Day. The news knocks on my door. Ask me if I could say a little something. I'm skeptical. Where I'm from, you don't even talk to the news. But I'm thinking I'm gonna be the good neighbor. I'm gonna be the hero neighbor. I'm gonna get on TV. I'm gonna big the dude up. I'm gonna make them feel guilty for even making a big deal out of this. So I get on, talk about how great a dude he is, how good he is with his son. He's always outside playing with his son, always teaching his son, always speaks, takes a minute to, do stuff for everybody in the neighborhood. And the very last sentence I said, I was like, he's a great dude and just had 1 minute of bad judgment or a moment of bad judgment, something like that. So I wait all night. We eat our Thanksgiving. I'm chilling. I'm eating my dessert. I'm waiting for the news to come on because I'm about to be hero neighbor out this joint. So
guys.
The news comes on. I gather my whole family around. It comes on. They show me at the door. And the sound bite in 2 seconds, it says, moment of bad judgment. So now I look at they didn't put any of the stuff where I was on there digging them up. So I know what things can look like things are edited. So I immediately went into panic mode, like, oh, I got to go over here and say something to these people. Because if they saw that, they think I'm the worst dude in the world. They're probably about to come over here and talk to me. So, I had to go over there and let everybody know what it was, what really happened. But it's like after that, I'm real leery about
the difference
things
is
like this.
This had to go through so many people's hands before it went out. And when you have this negative history where you had to apologize and pull $1 million campaigns in the past, I kind of feel like B. Austin did. I'm not saying that it was intentional,
but the ones in the past, what were they for?
Huh? Well, first of all, the one in 2011, they had to apologize and they pulled that ad as well. That's the one that you said was misinterpreted as well.
Right, but in my opinion, it's the same type of thing. Like, you have to apologize because something unintentional came from your thing. Like, you were saying that they had to do this, like they blatantly went out there and did some racist stuff.
No. I'm not saying
it
was
could
blatant.
be
My point is, when you have, even if it's not blatant, you should be careful. Be more careful. Anytime you like put money behind a campaign like that, because part of me feels like
I still understand. I just try to relate things to everyday life, Jim. Like, we slip up all the time. Like, I didn't know 3 weeks ago that we couldn't say female anymore. You know, I didn't know consumer rape.
But I understand what you're saying. But I also understand what B. Austin saying. What B. Austin is saying is, yes, we do slip up. No one's in trouble. But it's a situation where there's so many people paying that it has to go through to get approval. There's millions and millions of dollars on. So it's not like you talking to the news where it's just you thinking that you're doing a good thing. It has to get this is a huge corporation.
I'm sure we're all in agreement that they need to hire some more black people.
No, and that's my point.
And the ones that they do have might be the wrong ones.
The big issue to me is because
that's not going to come off too well.
I mean, I also believe in the free market, right? So my thing is, whether you meant it or not, if this causes you business, that's on you. I believe the market corrects itself. So therefore, I feel like if a lot of people think you are,
that cliche out.
No, it's not cliche. It's real. Salute to Milton Friedman. I honestly believe that, though, because the fact of the matter is, whether you're racist or not, if a majority of consumers think you are, does it even matter? As a business.
No, it doesn't, and that's what ruins a lot of companies these days because
so that's
like
my point. So my point is knowing
that, and everybody gets outraged over nothing, and you know this is the reputation that they have now.
My point
like,
is
there wasn't a lot of people that was going to research and find out how they've been trying to be good at being diverse for the past decade, and I wasn't saying because you rebutted that by saying, well, they had stuff in the past. 2011 is a part of this decade. That ad that you're talking about was a part of their attempt to be diverse, but we took that. I totally get that. And there were things I found when they were first. Well, this is years and years ago when they were first founded in the United Kingdom. They had some issues as well, but this is a whole different regime since then. But my point is, if you know that it doesn't matter, it's all about how it's interpreted. That's when you have to have people of color in your room. That's when you have to be careful because you gotta have that anyway. That's a mistake right there. You can't be diverse if your board isn't diverse. Your executive board isn't diverse.
I don't care how many people you hire. I don't care how many people you hire to clean up. You know what I'm saying? Like in models you put in your commercials. Most of the diversity is about their model. You know what I mean? I'm
taking the position of did I do any research? No, I didn't do no research. I'll be the first to admit I didn't do any research, and the way things are today, maybe I should have been tight or angry a long time ago, but I am exceptionally angry and upset with where we are as a society.
And that's kind of my point too.
And I feel like, that was a trigger for me, and further, we being who we are, know how much money these companies put into advertising, the subliminal messaging, and all of that. So I don't give them the excuse of this was not my intention, because
I don't think that even matters.
Scientists. Yeah.
I don't even think that matters.
What matters is,
well, first of all, what matters is the perception. What your intent actually means in the marketplace kind of doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Because most people will be like you, B. Austin. They're not going to do research. They're going to move off of emotion, and they're going to make their decision. No, and I'm not. That's not a shot at all. That's facts. No, that's not a shot. I'm just saying that's kind of what it is. But my thing is,
I do research.
That's why certain things. That's why they do certain things in marketing. Like that's why y'all know I studied marketing in
I know.
School.
And my point to that is
bubble gum and all that kind of stuff at the cash register because it's an impulse move. They know you're gonna move off emotion right there.
But that's why for me, when I saw the thing, I put a post up when I first saw it. I was laughing. I was like, "Yo, approve this," because regardless of what they meant, I saw how it could be taken, and even beyond that, right? I'm just laughing because I'm not one of the people who say, hey, let's get together and boycott Dove, because if you boycott something, that's a personal decision, but the time will tell whether it has any effect. And I don't not see, because another thing is, most people in my circle were knocking people for saying they're boycotting, and I didn't even see that many people saying they were boycotting, which was kind of confusing to me. But the fact of the matter is, if you do that, if you do boycott, that's your decision. If you don't, that's your decision too.
Right.
I know it's cliche, but I really believe the market kind of like will show what's going to happen. The same thing with the NFL.
That's the funniest part, though. How people on
agree.
both sides be judging each other. Like if you don't boycott, you a coon. If you do boycott, I
don't agree. I don't agree with the market correcting itself in the sense of social justice, because I feel as though the people that have the most control in the market come from groups of people who have never cared about who they oppressed anyway. So the dollars that are spent in the marketplace in terms of correction and influencing consumer decisions are coming from people that don't really care to begin with. So that's not the market correcting itself,
but what I mean by that is they want our money, right? So the thing about capitalism, which is interesting to me, is just making $1 gazillion isn't enough. You have to be constantly growing. If you're not growing, if you make $10 billion every year, but you don't somehow increase that seems as a bad thing in our society, which is weird. But the fact of the matter is, in order for you to do that, you have to get in more pockets. You have to appeal to the younger generation. You have to appeal to certain minorities.
And whoever's listening, yes, we are a sports show.
Yeah. I was about to say that. I'm like, we drawing, and I put that on me because I bought it up. And y'all know how we go. That's why we got to do that show about nothing, man.
This applies to the NFL as well. If you want to move this to sports, this also applies to the NFL, because with everything going on, right? These same principles will apply to the NFL and how it proceeds to grow over the up and coming years, because there's been sports that have been dominant, got comfortable. You know what I mean? We had a long conversation about Under Armour this morning in our group chat about, companies and things getting comfortable, thinking that, I'm always going to be at the top of the food chain. Things can change. Climate can change.
Things can change quickly. Look at my man Jeffrey the Giraffe about to be up out of here. But no, definitely, I know our listeners ain't tuned in to hear about soap. Like, our listeners grimy. Half of y'all don't even wash up. So,
shout to Dr.
Wow, you don't wash yet.
Shout out to Dr. Bronner's, man. I've been using woke soap anyway. I don't use Dove anyway, so FOH.
Black toothbrushes.
My man said woke soap.
Black bars of soap, literally the color black.
Black coffee, no sugar, no cream.
Let's jump into some hot topics, because we got some more crazy stuff that happened this week. You guys tired of reading the same old sports books with the same tired old sports lists, rankings, imaginary starting lineups, and all that hambo that you hear every day on those other networks? Be sure to pick up your copy of Sports. Smart people only read the sports. Its mixture of sports and hip-hop culture will keep you on the edge of your seat. It'll keep you laughing, and it'll keep you thinking the whole time. So just go to sportsthebook.com or get your copy from our website at warroomsports.com. But whatever you do, don't miss the movement. And we're going to hop back into the NFL. And we know what's been dominating the sports news, especially NFL news, for the entirety of the season, really the entirety of the past two seasons, this whole thing about the national anthem. So Jerry Jones, owner of the Dallas Cowboys, he came out earlier in the week. He kind of doubled down. A lot of people, talked about this week as if this was his first time saying it. Like, he said this a long time before he put on a show 2-3 weeks ago with his players, that little BS he did. But he said, again, any won't play. The Dolphins owner also said something as well. So now you got teams actually making verbal policies against anybody kneeling or sitting down for the national anthem. Of course, the president had his back, and the president, Donald Trump, he tweeted his appreciation for Jerry Jones after he said it. Nothing that you guys didn't expect. But what are your thoughts on this whole thing? Now you got owners like most powerful owner in the league, probably, and Jerry Jones, just telling his guys, Y'all not doing any of that.
That's interesting.
What do
right?
y'all think about
Because
that? Do y'all think anybody on that team of any note would even test?
That's interesting, right? But I had a whole nother thought as you broke that down so eloquently. Do you think that Robert Kraft or Jerry Jones yields more power in the league?
I would still say Jerry Jones.
Okay.
Robert Kraft definitely is up there, but
And this has nothing to do with your topic.
Money still trumps success.
And this has nothing to do with your topic. And I don't know which one of them got more bread, but that's either here nor there. So here's my point. In terms of what you said, he definitely doubled down.
I got more bread, Jim. Who generates more bread for the league?
This is true.
I think that's
we can look that. We can get our interns to look that up. By interns, I mean whoever listens, help me out. Look that up. But anyway,
you ain't washing up. You might as well do something.
Yo, wash your ass. Anyway, bottom line though, to answer your question and get back to your original statement about him doubling down, it's interesting to me, right? Because anyone who follows me anywhere on social media knows I'm not watching this year, and I haven't watched him down. But what I find crazy is
Jimmy woke us.
What I find crazy about this is this, right? This has to be the worst case scenario for the NFL coming into the season, because even as somebody who's not watching, I really have no idea what's going on, because anything that I hear from my feeds, whether it's Twitter, IG, Snapchat, wherever I'm at, it's about this. It's never about. I have no idea who's having a good season. I don't even know what my old team's record is. I have no idea what anybody's record is. I have no. And all I know is these stories. This is like dominating the headlines. This has to be literally the worst case for the NFL, because, or another way you can look at it is the best case, because ain't nobody talking about brain damage. Depends upon how you look at it, what lens you're looking from. But I just find that very interesting, because that's kind of what's dominant. Even though I didn't watch a lot of baseball, I could tell you exactly what was going on. I knew when Cleveland was on a winning streak. I knew all that because it came across my timeline and Twitter talked about it. When Twitter talks about the NFL, it's never about the game. In terms of what Jerry Jones is doing, I also found that interesting, because I tried to give some of the players the benefit of the doubt, right? So I'm a man of a certain age, and I have certain thoughts and certain experiences which lead me to have the feelings that I have. I always try to put myself in the mind of someone who's 21, 23, 25, and because it takes a lot of courage to actually kneel. If you had a whole stadium looking at you, excuse my language. I was at an event a couple weeks ago, a real estate event, and they somehow tried to sneak the national anthem in. And I sat down, and I felt like everybody was staring at me like I was a weirdo. But the point is, I've always done that. But now, the thing is, I've always done that.
I was about to say, I've never seen.
Not being rebellious. But the thing is,
all the games we've been
I've
in
always
together,
done that.
we didn't do that.
We never stand up. We don't do that. But the thing is, now when you do it, it has a different price looking at you. So I try to give the players the benefit of the doubt and put myself in their shoes. When I was a young boy, and all I cared about was you know what I mean? All I cared about was moist. I was one of them young guys. And what I do know is, even if I was a guy that wasn't quote unquote woke, what would happen is when someone tests you like you got to do this or that, that's when I really go like, all right, because all of it is. I'm just along with whatever. Once you start to give me ultimatums, even if I'm not the wokest dude, I might be like, yo.
You're going to be on your shady joint. Jim, if you're still talking, I can't hear you. Can you hear him, B? I don't know where he is. Jim, you there?
Yeah, I'm here now. I couldn't hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, I couldn't hear you for a minute. I don't know what happened.
But
I don't know what I don't know what the last thing you heard was. But my whole point is, once someone starts to give you ultimatums, that can change things, even if you weren't the guy that was willing to sit down to begin with.
Exactly. I mean, we saw that a few weeks ago with Shady McCoy, because he actually came out and said some things that we didn't like about Colin Kaepernick and what he was doing. But as soon as Trump called everybody SOBs, he's out there during the national anthem doing push-ups and trying to be the most defiant dude on the field. So, I think while he thought that was going over well with us, like, he made himself look worse, in my opinion, because you already came out and told us what you really thought,
Exactly. He looked real corny to me. Like, he looked real back to me in that situation. Those are my thoughts. My thoughts are like, man, this is bad for the league in general overall. But my other thought is, even if I put myself in their mindset as being a young guy and after what young guys are after, once someone starts talking like this, that has to like put another thought through your head. At least to me, it would.
Right. But like I told y'all, of course, Trump came. He tweeted a big salute to Jerry Jones, owner of the Dallas Cowboys, who will bench, in big words, players who disrespect our flag, stand for anthem, or sit for game. So, he got his rocks off by listening to Jerry Jones talk. My opinion on the whole thing, like, Jerry Jones, to me, he's showing that he has no compassion. I mean, it's not like many players, if any, on his team were standing and kneeling anyway. So that might just be him talking tough because nobody's even done it yet. So nobody's going to test. The superstars on his team, I can't really see any of them going down that road anyway. Like Ezekiel Elliott, actually the news just came down that his injunction was overturned. So unless he does another appeal or whatever, he's going to have to serve that suspension. But I can see Ezekiel Elliott thinking in his mind that the Cowboys throughout this whole domestic abuse thing have been fighting for him, so I'm not going to do anything to make them mad. When in all actuality, they're not fighting for you. They're fighting to get your talent, to keep your talent out on the field. If you weren't Ezekiel Elliott and you weren't as good as you are, they could give a damn about you in this domestic abuse case that he has going on. Dez, he always tells us how he feels and what he's about. So never expect anything from him. The only time he kneeling is after he's down. Dak, I can't really see it from him either, and we're going to talk about it a little later, but, he was quick to grab that Dan and Yogurt endorsement as soon as they, let Cam go. So, it don't look like he stands for much of anything either. So I just don't see the superstars on that team doing anything that's even going to test Jerry Jones. But I'm pretty sure there has to be somebody in that locker room about a challenge like that, just like you just said, Jimmy. Like, once you start talking like that, there's somebody there who wants to show, like, you're not just going to talk to me like I'm Steven from Django. So, I don't know. I don't know, man. So, subsequently, Jamel Hill from ESPN, colleague of ours, shout out to Jamel, she put out some tweets about Jerry Jones and what he said, just like she did about Donald Trump a few weeks ago. She basically said she was telling people, not really advocating, but she was telling people what to do to combat a situation like this. And she was talking about boycotts, but she was talking about boycotting actual sponsors of the Dallas Cowboys, not necessarily boycotting the NFL. Excuse me. I guess she was warned the last time she had a series of controversial tweets, because this time ESPN was swift to action, suspending her for 2 weeks. Yeah. What do you guys think about that whole situation?
I mean, we all know that ESPN is amoral, so I don't even necessarily think that they're on anyone's side in this, but the same sponsors that she is speaking up against, they pay the bills. They bring Disney the revenue, so they got to tell her to shut up. What I think was interesting in all of this, and what I found intriguing, was the show of solidarity throughout the media community, including, the Brothers of War Room Sports, but, more impactful, those that are on ESPN's network standing up, even some of the Caucasian employees stood up to say, you know, this is our colleague and our sister, and we support her in what she is saying, what she is doing, and, you know, we stand against, you know, what the actions that are being taken at all levels, from ESPN to the owners to Donald, you know, the Donald himself. So, you know, it's funny, man. This whole thing is funny. And going back to the Cowboys thing, Deb, there were 2 Cowboys that actually threw up the Black Power fist at the end of the anthem. They didn't kneel.
They tried to say he didn't know about
They
that.
threw the left. Yeah, Jimmy tries. Yeah, threw the left up, and
Jerry Jones tried to say he didn't know about that.
Yeah, Jerry said he didn't realize he would check that if he could. This really shows, you know, as long as white America, and not, you know, not all white people, but white America, generally speaking, is comfortable with where you are as a black person and you're not making waves, everything is okay. The minute you call to action or point out something that is wrong, that should be changed, that is oppression against, that's where the rubber meets the road with the ingrained racism in this society. Like, it's as long as these guys are doing what I need them to do, I'm comfortable paying them $1 million. I'm comfortable with them making money. I'm comfortable with them beating their wives. I'm comfortable with them having drug addiction issues. I'm comfortable with them bashing their brains out. I'm comfortable with them, you know, even dealing with criminal charges. But you stand up again for a human rights issue, and you stand up against police brutality directed towards black men and women, and listen, no, we can't have that. So it's just really interesting to see in 2017, we really aren't that much, we're not that far down the road from 1917. We're not. We're not.
So
salute to Jamel Hill.
Talk about that later too. What Jerry Jones said, because they tried to ask him, like, well, what if one of your big players did it? Like, you know, Dak, Zeke, Dez. He said, the policy and my actions are going to be, if you don't honor and stand for the flag in a way that a lot of our fans feel that you should, if that's not the case, then you won't play. Then he went on and said, as far as whether or not basically I will institute or basically do what I said, I just would say that the implication that we're not respecting the flag is just not going to be accepted. I would just ask anybody to look at my record. So he's doubling down, talking trash, all that kind of stuff. He said if you work in a workplace, there's things you can't do in relation to the perception of your customers. And I think a lot of what he's saying is pretty much BS, because, you know, these same fans are the ones who just look at you as entertainment. They don't care that you're a human being. They don't care that you know, have real human issues and real human problems. They just want to make sure that you're there to entertain them, you know, at their whim every Sunday. So these people who probably think that most of these guys are subhuman anyway, these are the people we're supposed to be living our lives by. You know, their perception is what matters. So because they think we should be standing up for the flag, that's the reason 100% that we should be standing up for the flag. That's
But Deb, that's those players stepping out of the role where they've been pigeonholed and put. Listen, you are subhuman. You are here to entertain me, and for that entertainment, you are paid handsomely. Like, you're getting millions of dollars to play your part and play your role. I'm not interested in you fighting for your community. I'm not interested in even hearing about your community, let alone the issues that affect your community. I'm not interested in that.
And a lot of these dudes don't have any other skills, right? So let's just say you're a basketball player or a soccer player. There's like leagues all across the world. You can go make a nice living going to play your sport. If it don't work out for you in the NFL, no other country or no other place care about football the way our country does. Like, don't even matter in other places. So
that's why
these dudes is
he
like,
can talk tough like that.
yeah, pretty much, because these dudes, man, they trying to protect their bag, but I still think it's a little bit of cowardice in that. When someone, like, at what point, they're like, if he smacks your mom, do you still justify it? Like, I know I'm being very extreme by saying that, but at what point do you say,
Dudes
look,
be
man,
like, nah, but I got to pay my mom mortgage.
Of
So
course, no. That's exactly what they would say. And Jimmy, to your point, in
Mom,
some of
what you
their
do to
psyche,
Jerry?
in some of their psyches, which they would never articulate it this way, they would say, well, she's just a black woman. That's Jerry Jones.
Yo.
I'm gonna pay her mortgage. She should be thankful.
But my point is this, man. Like,
that check coming from Jerry.
I don't know how far he has to push it, but I just know that for me, this might be my tipping point, because now you're disrespecting me, basically saying either it should get off the pot. Because first off, I'm an independent contractor, and if it's not my contract, then FOH, because it's going to end up in a lawsuit somewhere along the line if someone tries to test him.
All right, and Tobias, hold on, dude. We're going to get to you in a second. They said the Cowboys had a team meeting with Jerry Jones, and of course Jason Garrett came out, Jerry's little puppet, said Jerry Jones is very sensitive to players' issues. So they had this meeting. Dak said that the meeting went well. Jason Garrett said the meeting went well. They claim that he's very sensitive to some of the issues that his players were talking about. Dak also said they ironed everything out that we needed at this time. So they're saying all this positive stuff about the meeting they had. Listen. They're saying all this positive stuff about him and the meeting that they had. But what I'm not hearing is, okay, so he's still going to bench y'all if y'all kneel or put a fist up or quote-unquote disrespect the flag?
In the words of Large Professor, man, that's just a bunch of Mamba Jahambo. I don't know what they talking about.
Yo, the funny thing is, and the thing that has me the most sick and the most angry and the most emotional, brothers, is not what the NFL owners are doing. It's not what the Tiki Torch carriers from Charlottesville are doing, because I expect that. What has me the sickest is the number of black people who are cool with this and accepting of it. They're cool with it. Like, they're not empowered. There's nothing that they can do. Or that almighty dollar is so powerful that I'll subjugate my humanity because I'm getting these dollars. And then you have the Dak, who, for Dak, the only time Dak is really black is at practice and during game day. Outside, and the tattoos. Outside of that, he rocks with his mom.
Yo, shout to Casey Mack. Shout to Casey Mack, who's in our group chat, and he brings up a point. I didn't even look at this angle, like in terms of what will this do for free agency for Dallas, or will it do anything at all?
Nothing. These dudes don't care. They come in to play with their dad and Jerry. They don't care.
That's what I was gonna say. It's gonna be nothing at all. Like Master got money. Yeah. I'm going to work for this Ofe because he got some money.
I kind of think it's nothing at all, because you still, these guys play this sport all their lives. So some of them might be Cowboys fans. Y'all know that's likely in this world. People, and it's just, I guess, a certain mystique. It's a bit of an overrated mystique, but it's just still some kind of mystique to be a Dallas Cowboy. So people are still
if you black when your owner talking like this,
if you black and you play for the Cowboys or you root for the Cowboys, it's the coward boys. You're a coward boy fan. You're a coward boy. And I could say the same thing for the Patriots, but we'll get into them later.
I ain't going to start judging teams because I don't think there's any of the 32 owners that really bang with us like that. So
I know, but come on, man. Don't ruin the moment, though.
No, true. I mean, I'm trying to tell you, I don't trust.
We try to send shots at Casey Mack. You want to be all logical and whatnot.
Jimmy got that immediately.
My bad. Schmuck them cowards.
No, right, but you're right though. You're right though, which is the sad part, Dev. Like all 32 teams, like I can't see this happening. Yo, it also makes me embrace the NBA more, because like once your man came out and said what he said, they had him out the league in like 2 weeks. Like, how you own a team for 30 years? You say something to your side, John.
What is he done?
They got my man. They got rid of my man.
They know where they know where their money's
Big Magic Johnson. What is he
But
done?
you know what though?
He's got
To
those
that
eight.
That point though, Dev, I was saying the NBA knows the NFL too.
Yeah. All right, so let's go to the phone line real quick because we got the homie Tobias waiting on the line. Tobias, what's going on, good brother? Roll damn tide.
Roll down tide. And Jimmy up there, Morse code over there, isn't he? You know. But a couple of quick things.
Yo, that's because I be saying some powerful stuff. They trying to block what I'm saying though.
I feel you, my brother. A couple of things, man. First, Tampa Bay must have one of my football teams had crappy kickers, Alabama and Tampa Bay. But anyway, before I get my black topics, Dev, you better watch out, man. Colin Cowherd is slobbering all over your boy Carson Wentz, saying he's the closest thing to Andrew Luck. He's a wizard. Get ready for that jinx.
About to jinx him up.
He gave him an on-air swallowing, didn't he?
And Jared Goff also. I think Jared Goff all right, but he made it like Jared Goff the second coming. I'm like, come on, man. You know. But
see, this is the same thing from last season. I told the people who were saying that Jared Goff was a bum to chill. But now if you're going to crown him and say he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, I'm going to also tell you to chill. Let that man play. Damn. Let him work.
If he's a good quarterback, that's fine. But and that's okay. But here's the thing. Let's touch on a couple of quick things. First, for all those people who want to boycott ESPN, Disney owns ESPN. But here's the other thing. If you have cable, ESPN already has your money. So you don't even have to watch. They get their cut every month. And also, since Disney owns them, that means you can't watch that new Avengers or Thor movie because Disney owns them. You can't go to Disney, Marvel on Ice, or see the Princess and the Frog. You can't do that stuff now. But here's the thing.
People ain't ready to go that hard.
They ain't ready. Remember ESPN got rid of Bill Simmons because Bill Simmons talked about it. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you, but.
Okay, hold on. Let me get this Bluetooth real quick, man. Get this. Yeah, but remember ESPN got rid of Bill Simmons? He was talking slick about Ronnie Goodell, and they got rid of him. But here's the thing: I would tell Jamel Hill, one, like I said before, go independent. You can say what you want to say. Also, I remember that she picked up that article talking about black men were the white men of America. And I say this, Jamel. Now you see how the real white men of America operate. Talk slick, that's what they're going to do to you. And I'll say this real quick, guys. You can't buy courage. You can't. And Rick said it best. He asked the one question Colin Cowherd, what about the black fans? I kind of want to talk about the black fans. Because when you say fan base, public, customer base, that's code for white people. And they're not even considering black people. And I know people say, well, Jerry Jones helped out black players, he gave money. Well, remember, white people gave money to build HBCUs their own money because they didn't want your kids going to school with their kids. They use money to make stuff go away. And I think that once these black people, these black athletes realize, hey, we're the product. I got enough money for 4 or 5 generations, don't have to work. Why am I afraid of some man not paying me? Because Colin Kaepernick did it right. He got his money.
Tobias, what you're talking about right there is affecting change within culture and wealth. The difference between being rich and being wealthy is the knowledge you have and the culture you live by or live in. And so you can have an NFL player that's got $100 million contract, and he's still just rich. So they don't even understand the power that richness gives them to create impact and have wealth. So what you're talking about is a cultural shift, and I don't foresee that happening. Plus, the top 25% of NFL players have enough money for generational riches. A lot of them dudes. Listen, $1 million a season, it's a lot to live comfortably. That's not changing your family situation long term.
Yeah, I got neighbors who make
You know, that was
it.
gonna be my whole point. I was about to say, Tobias, what league are you talking about where all these people got generational wealth? Most of these dudes gonna be broke in a couple of years.
But here's what I'm getting at also. A lot
Their own
some of the
generation.
smartest guys. A lot of these black athletes were pushed through school as well. Shout out to the North Carolina Tar Heels, and you all remember your boy Jim Herrick. Shout out to him as well. But the thing is that even if many of those guys aren't like making Cam Newton money, a lot of them like to be also at the culture. They got enough money where they don't have to worry about, like, they can start a business. They can come together. You know, may not be as rich. I kind of get my point. Like they got enough seed money to start business, stuff like that.
I don't think, because to me, I guess, me and Dev talk about this often. Like, everybody doesn't worship money, so money shouldn't be the only thing that helps you make your decision. But I also think a lot of times when I hear not just you, but people in general talk about it, they talk like all these dudes walking around with $100 million in the bank. They be like all these rich millionaire football players. Man, some of them dudes ain't got no bread.
Only like three of them in each league that got that kind of money.
Especially when you're trying to keep up with baseball and NBA players, and so as soon as you get drafted, you go get a house that you really shouldn't be buying. Some of these dudes get boats. Why would you need a boat? Cars and all kinds of nonsense, because that's the big issue in the league. And when the owners know this too, right? So the owners aren't stupid. The owners know this, and they leverage that to basically, this is what they mean by the whole concept of $40 million slaves. It's not that you aren't being compensated, but you're giving money to give right back to them. Because most of them aren't going to buy.
Right back.
They're not going. You're not going to buy a house from say a black company or a black agent. You're not going to buy the car at a black car. So you're giving the money right back to them anyway.
You know what? And I'll say this though. I'll say this real quick.
On a 52-man roster, it's only 5 to 10 people that's financially set and financially stable. The rest of them dudes, the other 42, they in trouble. Go ahead, Tobias. My bad.
I'll say this, 'cause I know Biasa was talking about, like, Charlottesville. And see, this is where the part where a lot of black people get it wrong. Not you guys. I know you're getting that. They look at racism as that. No, the real racism is systemic, where they say you even speak out for your community, you can't work here no more. We're not going to consider you. We'll consider what the white people say, but we won't consider your opinion, even though there's just as many black Cowboys fans who buy merchandise, tickets, jerseys, all that stuff. We won't even consider your opinion, but we'll worry about how these white people feel.
No doubt.
Yeah,
all right,
so
Tobias.
I guess how I look at it.
No doubt. Thanks for your call as usual, man. We'll holler at you next week.
Hey, and before I go down, I got to say this real quick. We should play a game. Name the Chicago Bulls. If you can name more than one of them, you get a prize. God, we're going to suck this year.
We're going to do that before the season starts. We're going to find a prize and we'll give it to people. All right, now. Yo. Jimmy, remember we used to, back in like middle school, we used to watch Major League all the time?
Yeah.
And the dudes were at the construction site looking at the newspaper, their new roster. Who are these guys? Yo, that's how it is when you look at the Bulls roster. Who are these guys?
Yo, but it's crazy, right? Because this just goes to prove my theory that the Bulls aren't a great organization. They got flash in the pan with Mike and Phil, and that's a wrap. That's it.
One run.
Yo, whose roster is worse, the rebuilding Sixers or the rebuilding Sixers or the current Bulls roster? Which one is worse?
Dude, you must not be paying attention. Sixers ain't in the worst roster talks anymore, dude. Have you seen the Sixers roster? I'm not saying it's like championship caliber, but like that's not even a comparison.
I'm not.
You're talking about
this year's.
Oh, you're talking about in the midst of the process.
3 years. Yeah,
it's
like
still
3 years ago.
In the midst of the process. No, nothing is worse than that, B. My bad. Nothing is worse than that.
I don't know, because the Sixers had a couple guys that could play, but like once you make 2 shots in a row, they was trading you.
I was about to say, like, you really couldn't judge that on the Sixers because you would really last less than a 10-day contract. You like Jimmy said, you played too well, you were up out of there. So I don't know.
Like,
only two people made it through the cracks of that whole situation, and that's T.J. McConnell and Robert Covington. Only two people that made it through the whole process, basically. Yeah, McConnell is definitely an overachiever, a hard worker, scrappy fella.
Yo, at one point,
he didn't get it.
Soon as you get double
heady
digits,
player.
As soon as you get double digits, you had to pack your bag, yo.
Yeah. What was the little point guard came in and was doing too well? Shipped his ass to Detroit.
Ish.
Yeah, I was about to say. Hey, Ish, what are you doing?
He ain't Ish, you do it.
Like, yeah, I mean, they had to send him somewhere where he would be what they expected him to be here. But, I mean, you come to Philly and they had the kind of roster that they had. If you had any semblance of talent, you could shine. So they had to send him somewhere.
Dev and I was courtside at a Sixers versus Wizards game, and you couldn't tell Ish Smith that he wasn't better than John Wall. He was trying.
Yo,
yeah.
I don't know if the people listening try to
John Wall
trying to poop on everybody. He said we was courtside. He tried to throw that in there real quick.
Yeah, he did that out there. His boy was right over there.
He was courtside with Floyd.
Yeah, I was about to say his man was over there. I would have liked for B to say something to him so we had to rumble him and his 9 foot tall bodyguard. Courtside on
Floyd
TV.
Did knock the F out.
Yeah, he would. But what about?
Put my hands on him.
I'm about to say, what about the 9'12" dude who was sitting right next to him? Well, no, they were kind of lurking in the background. They had he had floor seats. They had first row seats, probably blocking everybody's view because Bull was so big. All right, so we know what's going on in the league. We know Trump tweets and gets excited every time something happens. He even tweeted about the Jemele Hill situation, saying something like, as long as Jemele Hill being on the mic is the reason for ESPN and their sinking ratings. So he put the whole company's situation on Jemele Hill, but that's not even worth any of our bars, man. We're just going to move on from dude. One more thing in this whole thing. Mike Pence, the vice president, named Mike, right? He attended, he went to attend a Colts 49ers game because he's a Colts fan. So he actually got up and left after the national anthem because there were 49ers there who kneeled during the anthem. This was all a setup by Trump. Pence is a lackey who was told to go do this. He was told to waste taxpayers' money, fly from Vegas to Indiana, go to this game, and if you see anybody kneeling, then you walk out of the building. But this is the thing. How hypocritical is this? You're basically mad that these guys are protesting, so what do? You protest. You get up and stage a walkout. That's a protest, Richard Head. You're doing the same thing as they are. You're exercising your constitutional right, demonstration, freedom of speech, whatever you want to call it. He did the exact same thing. So you went over here, wasted taxpayers' money, so you can protest if they protested. Any of this stuff make sense to you guys, or are they just toying with us now and just throwing stuff in our faces?
Yeah, they've been toying. They've been toying. They've been toying with us. This is one of the. I'm sure that in the past, presidents and vice presidents have done some pretty egregious things. Dan Quayle and my man W come to mind, but I can't really think of anything that I've ever heard more egregious than this, because what this means, and you kind of touched on it, Dev, but what this means is the vice president and his staff, including Secret Servicemen, were in Las Vegas. They had to fuel a full 767 jet up with about $100,000 worth of fuel, Air Force Two, fly it to Indianapolis, run a motorcade to the stadium, get out, for him to be there for 10 minutes
for a photo op and a fake protest, walk out, get back, refuel Air Force Two, get back on Air Force Two, and fly it back. So essentially, you spend about, estimate somewhere between $2.5 and $3 million of taxpayers' money for a joke, for a shenanigan.
Right.
Okay.
And Trump, being the narcissist that he is, he couldn't even let it be Pence's thing. Like, he tweeted, "I asked Vice President Pence to leave stadium if any players kneel, disrespecting our country. I'm proud of him and Second Lady Karen." But you're right. Like, it costs $120,000 alone just for the flight of Air Force Two from Vegas to Indianapolis. But like, as you just basically alluded to, that was only a fraction of the cost. They said that not only were Secret Service agents there, they swept everyone at the stadium with magnetometers. Advanced teams needed hotel rooms and transportation. So some Secret Service teams flew prior to Air Force Two actually coming. So this was a whole big planned out demonstration that cost the taxpayers probably around the figure that you said, just so they could protest people protesting. So, like, what message did you really send in all of this besides, something that wasn't well thought out? And you just flexed on everybody. Like, I really don't get why the president and the vice president are sticking their necks so far into business of what NFL players are doing every Sunday. I'm not one of those people who say, "Oh, don't you have more important things to do?" Like, people can't do more than one thing at the same time. But in this case, like, don't you really have more important things to do? You are the vice president of the United States of America. And, to prove a point, to try to get to tell these black boys to stay in line, you're going to fly all the way over there and show them that we're going to walk out of this game. I guess they're trying to scare the NFL, saying this is what fans will do if they keep this stuff up.
See, this is the thing, right? This is the problem with the climate we live in, because our president represents so many people. He's so petty. Like, he's so childlike. It's almost amazing to me. And for the people that love him, it's just amazing to me how you don't see how petty he is. Because let's face it, man, like, the presidents have been doing, like B. Austin said, some egregious things over the years, but at least they had a little bit more tact with theirs. Like, if you cross, JFK, you might get audited. You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't have to be so blatant and petty. Actually, it's probably
never mind that, Jimmy. Never mind that. The president, Kennedy, JFK, was yam farming, so he was investing taxpayers' dollars in the right things. He was getting Marilyn Monroe to go. He was getting this model to go. Come on.
My thing is, these dudes, like, even though it's probably more egregious some of the things they did it with more class. Like, you can't even be cool. Like, he's so uncool. Like, this is what you do? Like Dev said, because these dudes are protesting, this is what you waste money on? Like, really? Come on, guys. Like, it's so petty. It's so petty. But we live in a town where everybody got to clap back and everything is petty. It's like, I'm still waiting for him to respond to Marshall Mathers. Yo, it's so not. What she said to begin with, the first time she said something like, she said he's just not a leader. Like, you're not a leader. He's not a leader of men. Like, he's just not. And, I really don't get into the politics because, again, people like who they like before the whole thing begins. But my thing is, like, dog, you're not a leader. Like, yo, we got to do better. But I think this goes to a deeper issue of anti-intellectualism that goes through this country, right? He's so unintellectual and so stupid that a lot of people relate to that because they feel like they don't want anyone looking down on them, right? So therefore, they somehow feel that someone who's just not that bright, I guess it gives them hope in a weird way.
They can relate.
I feel you.
Listen,
all right,
and I understand that, right? But I'm of the opinion that, I want my president to be smarter than me. I want the person leading my country in the free world to be smarter than me. I'm not going to have an inferiority complex.
I grew up thinking that was just the way it was.
Me too.
I grew up
just
thinking that was the way it was.
President of Congress. Yeah, then you get older, you realize, like, yo, they dumb as hell.
Like this is what they
now
do.
now y'all sitting here and thinking there is no possible way that he is half as smart as I was 15 years ago.
She said 15.
I mean, so man, listen, man. It's just crazy, like, because this whole thing with the football thing, like, it brought all those thoughts to my head immediately when I heard it. Like, really? Like, I understand that people want to fall on different sides of all kinds of issues, but this is what you do? All right.
All right, so real quick, man, we just MLB postseason is going on, and the ALCS has been set. The Houston Astros beat the Boston Red Sox 3-1 in their opening series. The Yankees had to come back to beat Cleveland 3-2 in their opening series. The Dodgers swept the Arizona Diamondbacks 3-0 in their opening series, in their divisional series. And the last one we're waiting on, the Cubs and the Washington Nationals, the defending champs, had a 2-1 lead in this series. Washington came back, tied it up, so they get to play Game 5 at home. I haven't even looked. I know it's raining here a little bit in the area, so it might be a rain delay on that. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't heard that officially. I'm just making that up myself. But we'll see how this goes, because the Washington Nationals have, collectively had like the best record in the entire league over the past few years. But it seems like they're one of those franchises who get to the playoffs and can't get it done. Looked like they were going down that same path until until Dusty Baker decided to start. Why am I drawing a blank? Strasburg in the game last night to get them out of this jam and tie the series 2-2. So we'll see who's going to come out with this one.
I just want to finish off the baseball, because I have been watching a little bit of the playoff baseball, and to me, I tried to watch a little bit of regular season baseball as well. It's like two different games, yo. And I know you can say that pretty much about any sport, but baseball, it's real drastic. Like, the pitching in the playoffs is just crazy. The pitching in the playoffs is crazy compared to the regular season. I guess when you got 100,000 games to get through, you can't always be at your, peak performance. That's what she said. But the thing is, when you watch these playoffs, like the couple games I watch, oh, my God, the pitching is crazy. Like, the level of play is just at another level in baseball playoffs. So I'm looking forward to see this go on. Shout out to Dusty Baker, yo. Shout out to all the managers in baseball, because that's just like, that's the good old boys club. Like, every manager has probably managed about 10 different teams.
Right. Like, they're always good to land another gig. Somebody's screen team. But
it must be hard to break those ranks, boy.
We definitely got to talk a little bit about y'all boy Joel Embiid, who just got a bag from the Sixers. People were wondering if they were going to do this now, or kind of make himself prove that he could stay healthy through a season and do it later. But the Sixers decided that they didn't want this looming over the team, so he got an extension, 5 years at almost $148 million. When you talk about his talent and his production when he's on the court, like, it's a no-brainer. But what you have to think about is the fact that the man has played 31 games in his past 3 seasons. I mean, and in his only 3 seasons in the league. Being the Sixers fan that you are, would you have done this at this time?
Guess not. Yo, how much
would
is
you
that
have
per
done it,
game? How much is that per game played? I think that is one of those things where I don't know what the other alternative is. This is what the market dictates. If you were trying to make them wait it out, I mean, I don't know, man. They were in a tough spot. I mean, you can make the argument either way. They were definitely in a tough spot. Thing is, when you watch this young man play, it's like he's like Patrick Ewing at his peak performance. I know that sounds like crazy, but I think a lot of people forget just how good Patrick Ewing was at his ultimate best. This dude has range. He's blocking shots, drop step. Like, it's a complete package. And the team is a completely different team with him on the court. As good as Ben Simmons looks, it's a different team when Young Legend is on the floor, yo.
Yeah, Ben, like you said, Ben looks good, but he's not the difference maker that this dude is offensively and defensively. And, Jim, to answer your question, he just earned about $4,774,193 per game played in the league. So that man played in 31 games. They got $140 million.
What a time to be alive,
the young legend.
B, would you have re-upped him at this time? Like, the number isn't even the thing, because the max is the max. You got to give it to the dude if you're going to pay him. But would you have paid him now or tried to wait until later?
On the face value, I probably wouldn't have done it until after this season. But I saw the terms, or some of the terms of the contract, and they have every injury clause possible written into that thing, and number of games to be played per season, and the ability to waive him based on time missed. And I'm kind of, from an organization, I'm kind of okay with the contract. Maybe not the timing, but I'm okay with that. If I'm in the Sixers front office, I'm okay, because what can you do with a talent of his ability, and he's like a dinosaur when it comes to talented centers. They just don't exist. There's only like 6 of them in the entire league. So I understand. I get it.
Yeah, if this was some kind of sea vessel, the Sixers made mad escape hatches for themselves in this deal. I mean, like I said, the deal, there was nothing you could do about that. And waiting might have just, exacerbated the situation, caused him to think that you were behind him. Yeah, he might start looking elsewhere, and all of a sudden he signs somewhere else and then wants to be healthy for the rest of his career. And you got to sit back and watch who's going to be the best center in the league dominate and do other things with another franchise. So I think they made the right move. The Sixers still have tons of cap space where they are now, but even if they didn't, he's the best player on the team. He's the guy that the cap space would have been reserved for anyway. So I'm not mad at the situation.
I resent you automatically giving him the best player, man. Because I think it's my man T.J. McConnell that's the best player on the team.
No, he's just the scrappiest.
Keep it 100.
He's the scrappiest.
He's the headiest.
Headiest. Stop your racist cold words, Bielsa. Anyway, stat of the week is for the homie Joel Embiid, who came out and dominated with about 22.7 rebounds, 4 assists, and a block in his preseason debut, where a lot of people didn't even think he was going to play. The stat of the week, and Jimmy brought this to my attention, is the fact that in the 2017 preseason, Joel Embiid is now averaging 53.7 points, 17.1 rebounds, 7.3 assists, and 2.4 blocks per 36 minutes. Y'all was about to be like, what are we talking about? Per 36 minutes, this dude is Wilt Chamberlain out here. He's Wilt Chamberlain out here per 36.
Young legend.
Definitely young legend.
Shout out to Mia Khalifa.
So let's move on, man. Because we are way behind. I know we got Gus Griffin calling in a second to give you guys his investment picks for the week. So before we do that, and before we get into some grind topics and some birthday shout-outs, I just got to let you guys know, check out our website, warroomsports.com. When you're there, take your time, look around, click on the Contact Us tab, send us a message about the company, the show, or to inquire about sponsorship and advertising opportunities, or joining the network in any capacity. For general inquiries, just shoot us an email. While you're browsing the site, click on the memorabilia tab, buy yourself some War Room Sports merchandise, click the blog tab to read our latest articles in the All's Fair and Sports and More blog, and click the respective icons and tabs to follow us on social media, to subscribe to our iTunes podcast, to watch our webcast at War Room Sports TV, to listen to the WRS Podcast Network, and to download our free War Room Sports mobile app, on Android or iOS to get everything I just mentioned on the go. Join the JW Philly Realty chat room right now during the show at blogtalkradio.com/The War Room. To enter the chat room, just sign up for a free profile on Blog Talk Radio. If you don't want to create an account, you can sign into your Facebook and Twitter accounts. But while you're at it, make sure you click follow. That'll get you updates and reminders about the show. We'll be taking questions and reading posts from Facebook, Twitter, the chat room, and the War Room Sports Game Time group on the GroupMe app during the show. But if you want to call in and speak with us, the Digital Extreme Tech hotline is open, 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted. If you're already listening from your phone, just press 1 if you want to talk. I know Gus is on the West Coast today, so he should be calling in just a few minutes. We'll wait on that, but until we get him on the line, Jim, what happened this week while everybody was on the grind?
Absolutely. Come to talk about what happened while you were on the grind. For those who don't know, what is going on over there? While you were on the grind is brought to you by DirecTV. If you like a better TV experience than cable has to offer, which includes the NFL Sunday ticket, a lot of sports packages, maybe you're not into the NFL anymore, like a lot of people. Here's what you do. Go to DirecTV.com and get yourself a better TV experience. That's DirecTV.com. If you call yourself a sports fan, guess what? You got to have DirecTV. Time to talk about what happened while you were on the grind.
Yes, sir.
Yo, it sounds like one of y'all getting kidnapped. But anyway.
Oh, sloppy time.
Still with us? I think y'all kind of got B. Austin. But anyway. Yeah, damn. Free B. Austin, yo. Anyway, Dolphins assistant got caught on video snorting coke for the posse. Like, he was really out here snorting coke, trying to send a message to his side, John. And got really caught up. I mean, it was a bad look. He resigned. She played him out. She did it for freedom and justice. What did Hank call her? Hank called her Rosa Parks with cleavage. But anyway, with all that being said, she's a freedom fighter. We got to salute her for that. But what did you think when you saw this video?
Yeah, first of all, he's not getting any breaks from us. This was former Dolphins assistant offensive line coach Chris Forrest.
Damn!
All right, Chris. Yo, when I saw this, I thought it was crazy. Not that I was shocked that, he was snorting coke, but I was shocked that he was snorting coke on a video while, filming himself. And I was also a little bit shocked that he was doing it as a means to try to get his girlfriend, side chick, or whatever she was to him. He was trying to use that to get him back. Because I'm listening to the dialogue on the video, and he's talking about remember we used to do this together, and like, dude, who are you turning on with lines of cocaine? I don't know what kind of relationship they have, but whatever they were going through, he thought filming himself snorting coke was going to turn her on enough that he was going to get her back. Now, this young lady, who was she, Jim? She's an Instagram model?
Yeah, IG model. That's a real thing these days.
Yeah, that's actually bigger than being a supermodel right now. Not money-wise, attention-wise. That's bigger than being an actual supermodel. The last time we talked about Tyra Banks. Who? But no, it was crazy to see something like this. And like you said, he did end up resigning. I never saw the statement from the Dolphins. I saw the original when they said that they were aware of the video and had no tolerance for the behavior, but they didn't have anything to say at that particular time. It was a 56-second video, which was posted on Facebook and Twitter. My man just had a rolled up $20 bill, and they're going easy on him in a lot of the news articles, saying with a powdery substance on his desk. I'm gonna just go all out and just say, the dude was on here snorting coke. I'm not trying to give any breaks. I'm not trying to not say his name. I'm not trying to act like it could have been sugar that he was putting up into his snout. Like, the dude, Chris Forrester, was snorting coke before a meeting, because he even said it in the video that he has a meeting in a few minutes. So he went into his meeting with the Dolphins coked up, and you wonder why the Dolphins can't win a lot of games every year. Like, come on, man.
Yo. When they asked the Dolphins about it, their response was, "We don't want nobody kneeling when the anthem is being played."
Word. Because they were one of the teams that came out and said that.
They just ignored it, like, no. They just said no.
Forrester and the Dolphins.
You should be ashamed of yourself. The way you carry yourself.
Yo, that's crazy, man. That whole story was crazy. But we got a bunch of interesting topics surrounding football. And again, has nothing to do with what goes on the field. Battle rappers, DNA and Kate Scott.
Let's get before we go into the rest of these topics. Let's get Gus on the line to give us his investment picks for the week. All right, Gus, you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, how you doing? And I'm glad you got it right. Investment picks. I'm weaning you off that stigmatizing label of gambling.
Yeah, we don't gamble. We don't bet. We invest. We're men of a certain stature here. We don't do that.
Thank you.
But before we get started, I gotta let everybody know that Gus went 3-3 last week. He's 11-11-1 on the season. So now we can jump into what's going on this week. We got a big Thursday nighter with the Eagles and the Panthers, and on that game, you went with the over/under. So what do you have? The number is 45.5. You going over?
Yeah, I'm going over.
Over?
I'm going over. I think that's going to be well, you could tell that the league didn't expect the Panthers and Eagles to be 4-1 going into the game, because that's usually the week that they throw their dog game into. So the league is pleasantly surprised. I'm sure that well, or maybe not. Maybe they wanted it on Sunday, because they usually give Thursday night their dog game. But they're both 4-1, both playing very well. I think it's going to be a pretty exciting game, and I can easily see a 27-23 game or something of that nature. I got the Panthers winning, but I mean it's a 3-point line, but over 45.5 for the game.
Well, like I think you're right though about what the league was thinking going into this. This is just a treat for them on Thursday night, because these were two last place teams last year. That's the only reason they're playing each other. These two divisions don't even play each other this year, but because they were two last place teams, they get to face off. So the league is definitely getting a treat if the game lives up to what their records are right now. So you're going with the over on that one. I'm thinking it's still Thursday night. You know how Thursday night games tend to, be kind of low scoring. But we'll see.
That's true.
45.5.
And well, you make a good point there, because I mean, they just played Sunday, and I don't know, even those of us who are big fans, I don't know how much we appreciate the time it takes to recover from an NFL game, particularly for the traveling team. One little unfortunate thing for them in terms of ratings, they're going up against some postseason baseball, but I mean, again, it's an abnormal situation.
But the league is all about safety, even though these guys play. The league is all about safety. All right, so you also did the over/under for the Falcons versus Dolphins. That number is 46. What are you taking?
Oh, absolutely over. Even on an off day, the Falcons are going to give you 24, 27 points just on themselves, and I don't see them being off against the Dolphins. I could tie it into that the coach situation there with the powdery substance, and just on a side note they literally can't say cocaine, because they could subject themselves to some kind of legal challenge, even though he clearly has denied it. But
speculation. We're independent over here. We don't care what we say.
It could be sugar.
We're crazy. I take that back. He was snorting baby powder. All right, so the over on that one, that's the Falcons. Like you said, that could possibly be 46-0. So that could be 47-0. So I definitely agree with that one. There's not a lot to pick from this week. So last but not least, you got the Buccaneers -1.5 versus the Arizona Cardinals, with their new running back, Adrian Peterson. Who you got?
Yeah, I just think the Bucs are going to win. I think, first of all, they've got 13 days rest. They played the Patriots last Thursday, so they got a little extra rest. I think they're a little chopping about letting the game get away from them. They really should have beat the Patriots, but and the Cardinals. I mean, okay, you know, you're desperate if you get Adrian Peterson, and sure he'll get some workload that he wanted to get in New Orleans. But I just don't see it coming together right away for them, and I just don't see enough balance on their part. So I think, you know, and with the 1.5 spread, you got to think that the Bucs are going to just outright win.
Okay. All right. So that's it. We're going to see how you do this week, see if we can get that record over 500 going into next week. I'm confident that you will. We'll see what happens, Gus.
Thank you, HU, man.
All right. No doubt. We will talk to you next week.
All right.
All right, everybody. That's Gus Griffin and his investment picks for the week. So get out your investment portfolios and do what you got to do. Try to make some money on that. All right. So, Jim, what were we talking about? Back to these grind topics here.
Oh, yeah. Back to NFL topics that have nothing to do with football. I found this one interesting because I saw people take two different sides on it. Battle rappers DNA and K Shine were on the NFL pregame show battling about the Cowboys and Packers game. Some people were like, wow, they're finally getting their shine because battle rap has been sort of like an underground culture for a long time. Others were like, the powers that be think they're slick. With everything going on with our community, let's try to pull something from the community that they love and give them a shot on here. You know, so I don't know how you guys felt about it. But, you know, it was interesting because you do see them get a chance to get their shine, but it's like, the timing is kind of, you know, not saying it's a fact, but fishy.
No,
what do you guys think?
Like, for me, I'm always willing to listen to another perspective because I was one of the people at first. I was like, oh man, that's you know, that's kind of cool because, like you said, it's been an underground art form for so long, and you know, Jimmy being modest here, but Jimmy and his War Room Sports sponsored battle rap program is
Operation
very big,
Battle Rap.
and Operation Battle Rap is very big in the battle rap world.
And here's the thing, though, like I met these guys. I've met these guys personally. So when I first heard it, I was like, you know, I felt good for me. Like, I know how long they've been trying to do their thing, and man, DNA came on our show. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, you know what I mean? So I know how these guys have been doing their thing on the underground, trying to get a good look, and this is absolutely a good look for them. But you know, there's two sides to the story.
You get the alternative perspective from cats like my own who came on and said, you know, they're kind of being exploited right now. And then when you think about it, you're like, that's exactly right. Because the NFL is in the midst of a boycott, first of all. And that boycott stems from the fact that Colin Kaepernick can't get a job when he's, you know, protesting on the field, standing up for people that look like these guys. Are from the same communities as these guys, but to try to bring some of us back to the table, you have them on here battle rapping about the Packers and the Cowboys on your NFL pregame show. So it made me think of it from that perspective, but it makes total sense.
It makes you think, right? Because to quote my brother B. Austin, man, a lot of stuff is you know, it's not an accident. As he even mentioned earlier, like a lot of stuff just isn't an accident. And these guys are in a different ball. They're in a different, you know, everything than say Jay-Z. Jay-Z turned down the NFL, but Jay-Z can turn down the NFL. So it kind of puts them in a bad position too because they're trying to be a Jay-Z. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to get to that level. They're not there yet, but you know, and I don't even know if they
wake up until he was $800 million in the game, though.
I don't even know
they didn't wake up until he was $800 million in. So.
First and foremost, man, salute.
They got a billion if they came conscious. But no, my point is though.
Can you hear me?
I don't think these guys even thought about that perspective, Dev. That's the thing. I don't think they thought about it.
Yeah, but think about it. If that perspective was offered to them when they got the offer from the league or the pregame show, what do you think it would have made a difference? Because these guys have been starving for some kind of mainstream attention for a long time. They were literally doing it for the culture.
Just a little inside baseball. Though. How they got the opportunity was there's a gentleman who works for ESPN who's a battle rap fan. He's a younger black guy who loves battle rap, and he also happens to have like a behind-the-scenes job at ESPN, and he kind of pulls strings to make it happen. But with that being said, I don't know how long he's been trying to get them to pull strings. He's probably been trying to get them to pull strings for a while, but all of a sudden, hey, you know what?
Well, we need it now.
Remember that idea you had?
Salute to them, because we are hip hop. War Room Sports is hip hop. Battle rap is an integral part of the culture, and initially there's a part of me that is so happy for the URL and T-Dot and Grind Time and all of them. Like I'm happy for them dudes, man. Salute to them. But this was clearly exploitation and a ploy to try and pull some of the black fan base back in because they got to do something. Now, what I'm going to say is I credit a lot of the MCs that are a part of that with being highly intellectual people. And if they choose to do that again, I don't think you're going to see many of those battles where Colin Kaepernick doesn't get brought up. Like, that's just, like, sooner or later, like, this is probably a one-off. Like, if it isn't a one-off, they're going to be faced with something crazy because these dudes are going to, at some point, talk about the topics at hand because they come from that community. So, I give them the benefit of the doubt. I don't think they were intentionally selling out the community or anything like this, but from the powers that be, from that perspective, oh yeah, this was definitely a ploy. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you guys a question. If you were in their shoes faced with the same decision, what do you do? Do you make a move that could possibly put food in your family at this point in your career, or do you just say, "Yo, I may never do"?
No. I absolutely take the battle, and I absolutely inject Colin Kaepernick and the movement into the rhyme, no matter what that costs me. So I take that platform, I take that check. Even if they tell me not to.
No, what you got to do is if you did that, right, you would have to take. Go ahead, Dave.
Wait, go ahead.
No, I was about to say I don't even know if it was live because there was a kind of like a preliminary video that came out before that.
No, it wasn't live. It wasn't live at all. But what you got to do is
that's what I'm telling me. So you ain't saying nothing about Colin Kaepernick.
No, what you got to do is you got to do it somehow subliminally. Like when LL Cool J took that Gap check and was talking about FUBU, and they didn't even know it until it was too late. Right. Yo, they was like, huh? They didn't even get it because there wasn't a lot of them in the room. He took a Gap check, wore a FUBU hat, and promoted FUBU. Yo, LL was the GOAT.
Well, that was one of the greatest moments in hip hop history.
Yeah, when you think about that was straight gangster by LL. Yo, LL he got another notch on the GOAT belt. He is one of the GOATs. But anyway,
Raymond John owes him forever. Like he's forever in his debt.
Yo, you should give him a piece of every business on Shark Tank.
No doubt. It was very interesting to see those guys up there. Same way that you guys were talking about. Like you're happy for them. At the same time, once you realize these guys are being used by the system, it just makes you.
The system is vicious, man. The system is vicious, yo. They vicious, man. Yo, it's real vicious. But anyway, other news in the league, nothing to do with football. Danny Yogurt had cut off Cam. We all know that. My man Dak Prescott jumped right up and took that bag.
Your man Dak can't even wait for them to take Cam's photos down at the headquarters.
They told Dak, if you don't take this bag, we're going to say that you don't like women either.
I don't even think they had to say that to Dak. They called Dak. He was like, seriously? Let's go. I mean, because they literally said he was on board like that afternoon, and he was scheduled to fly out to do an ad like the next day. Because, you know, I believe they're on bye this week. So he has all week and all weekend to go out and get as many Dannon yogurt ads as possible. And that's why I said earlier when we were talking about
white women that.
when I said about Jerry telling them not to stand, and people were asking if any of their big players did it. Like, I don't think they're in jeopardy of any of their big players doing that. You know, not that Cam Newton was Huey Newton, you know what I'm saying, and all of this. But at the same time, like, that's another brother. He got his endorsement snatched probably prematurely. You know, they snatched it before he even had a chance to go on camera and do his what seemed to be a heartfelt apology. I mean, I don't know. I'm not even going to judge that. It seemed sincere. But he was already signed up and willing and ready to go before all of that. So it's like, you have no semblance of decency. Like, you don't, like, it was controversial at best. So for me, it's kind of like a Jemele Hill situation when the first time when they tried to take her off the air, and everybody that they tried to have fill in for was like, nah, I don't feel comfortable doing that. Like, that day, like, I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that if I'm
Listen,
that
here's a couple things, Jeff.
Yeah.
Act like I got to put money on my Pop Rocks and Tootsie Pops.
Yo, a couple things. For one, Cam Newton, they shouldn't have let Cam Newton go, because Cam Newton, those 8 inches of skin means that Cam Newton can't be. Anyway. But back to Dak, though. Dak was a 4th-round draft pick. He's playing
with what got him afraid of him.
He's the 4th-round draft pick. He's like, yo, I'm starting for the Cowboys. I'm getting endorsement. He's playing with house money. I don't even think he put any thought into it. Like, he's like, look, I'm getting everything while I can, because I'm not even supposed to be here.
Yo, dollar store batteries could have called him for an endorsement, and Dak would have been like, all right.
Yo.
Let me dress up in
Let
me dress up in a squirrel suit and give me a drum, and I'm a fake like they Energizers. Let's go.
Yo, Jackson Hewitt could have made him stand on the corner and wave to Lil Jon, saying that we doing taxes right now. But
spinning that junk, spinning the arrow. Taxes here.
Yo, shout out to people that do that, though, because at the end of the day, like, you really are like, look, F it, I need this bread. So I actually admire you, believe it or not.
And you only do it on like 98-degree days.
Yo, so salute to you. That means that you really about that paper, or you got a bad drug habit, one or the other. But
I need that quick money. I need cash.
But Dak took that bread with no problem. Like, Dak didn't even think about it. I think Dak was plotting on that contract to begin with. But you know. Like you said, Dev, this just shows me that none of these guys are going to stand to Jerry. Like, Dak is happy. He's just happy to be there. He's very happy to be here.
I don't like I said, I don't even think that Dak sees himself as an African American outside of the context. Never mind. He's not standing in solidarity. He don't see no problem.
You don't want no problem. I mean, it's Jerry.
No problem. Jerry, look at Jerry and his boys. Anyway, man. Last football story.
Jimmy reminded me. That's what I wanted to name this episode. Something with
Jerry
boys, like Jerry's boys or something like that.
Jerry's boy. We can change it. Anyway, listen.
Because this is the one I did put on it.
Jerry's
it's going to be every week thing, so we can always come back to this one.
Name this episode House Negro and Field Negro. Anyway, listen, last football story that has nothing at all to do with football. Y'all, man, I'm Mike Ditka. Let's call him Mike Ditka. NFL Hall of Famer, legendary coach, legendary tight end. Had nerve to say that there hasn't been oppression in the U.S. for the past 100 years. Now, he's come out and he's apologized for it, said that's not what he meant. You know, he was trying to say, he was talking about athletes specifically and yada, 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 a bunch of BS. But we know his politics. We know things he said in the past. And we've heard some of his former players say things about him. So we already know where he stands. He's a staunch conservative. But to say something like this is just like, come on. 'Cause even if you're, here's my thing, right? If you're conservative, so be it. But you ain't got to be ignorant either.
Right. I mean, because a lot, like he lived through a lot of those 100 years, and a lot of his early adult life happened around the civil rights era. So you think all those people were out there doing all that marching and all that fighting and all of that, trying to get Congress to pass laws and bills and all that. So you thought all that was going on because no one was being oppressed.
Mike Ditka is probably upset that they integrated the NFL, because if they didn't, his numbers would have been much better, and he'd be unequivocally the top tight end. So he probably a little upset.
I just think he's a lot ignorant because he said, like Jimmy said, he said things like this before. This is one of those old men who's set in their ways, and this is what he really believes. Like, to me, the way he tries to act so tough, I'm surprised that he even came out and apologized. Like, I'm sitting here, I'm looking for it now to see what he actually said in the apology, because it was probably
that's
something
the admission. That's
fake tough. Yeah, so he said, I want to clarify statements that I made in the interview with Jim Gray last night. The characterization of the statement that I made does not reflect the context of the question. I'm going to stop reading right there because Mike Ditka don't even know all them big words. So he didn't write that.
Yeah.
Like, I was about to read that whole paragraph. Mike Ditka ain't saying none of that.
He ain't saying none of that.
Yeah,
My man
what he
got
originally said
was,
was, if you don't respect our country, then you shouldn't be in this country playing football. Go to another country and play football. There's not much about that to apologize about. Like, you weren't mischaracterized. You told people to go somewhere else if they don't like what's going on in this country.
That is the one rebuttal. My thing is, if you want to come with a rebuttal, you got to come with something better than, like, go back to Africa or go back. I don't tell anybody to go back to the caves, like, and even beyond that, it's like, really? Like, go back. I didn't come here of my own volition. What do you mean go back? Yeah, I didn't have to be here. Yeah. So listen,
you're like, man, go get a boat and take me back. Gotta.
You want me here? Take me
Can
back.
I get a ride? Can I get Uber slave shit?
Y'all gotta step y'all rebuttals up. They gotta step their rebuttals up, y'all.
Yeah, but the thing was, like they say that like they were here originally, like they were born and bred. All of their ancestors were born and bred here in this country. I mean, but I guess they're right, Jim. Like, shit, if we took it, it's ours. So, I guess so. I guess it belongs to y'all.
No, they like
if that's how you want to look at it. We took it.
We murdered 80. We murdered 80 million Native Americans, and we stole 12 million Africans to get America to where it is. Look, we can tell y'all whatever we want.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
I ain't got no more fight for that. It's yours. You got it. You got it. No doubt.
Yo, they mad because we taking their women and ain't gonna be no more of them left. Anyway, with that being said,
the result is Dax though, a whole bunch of Dak Prescott.
We're going to give a bunch of Dak.
He also got a bunch of Cams, and he not even half breed.
Yo,
so, Mike Ditka.
You should be ashamed of yourself. The way you carry yourself.
All right, I'm gonna give some birthday shout outs real quick. Somebody want to get their screen team. Birthdays, as usual, brought to you by Digital Extreme Technology. Do you or your business need a custom website? Well, for dynamic, professional, and most of all, affordable custom website solutions, you need Digital Extreme Technologies. No need to break the bank for an effective online presence. Top quality, results-driven websites at incredibly affordable prices. And yes, financing options are available. So visit digitalextremetech.com or call 267-205-4203. And for discounted rates, be sure to tell them that the homies over at War Room Sports sent you. All right, so who's having a birthday today?
Yay!
Shout out to Marion Jones, once one of the fastest women that the earth had ever seen. She turns 42 years old. Shout out to Charlie Ward, who, go ahead. I know you got some bars about Marion being a track aficionado that you are. Okay.
Oh man,
Far enough.
Them roids is fast.
All right, so Charlie Ward. Shout out to Charlie Ward, who turns 47 years old. Every time Charlie Ward's name comes up, I have to give him his props. Charlie Ward basically was jack of all trades, master of none. He was one of the best college football players that you had ever seen, but I think he knew just as well as most other people that his skill set, his size, all of that kind of stuff wasn't going to translate to the NFL too well. So he took the route where he got guaranteed money and actually spent 10 years in the NBA as a point guard. And he wasn't a backup point guard for much of that time. So shout out to Charlie Ward for making a drastic career decision that actually panned out for him. Like, nobody was afraid when the Knicks, and maybe the Knicks, but nobody was afraid, at least no point guards were afraid when Charlie Ward was coming to town. But he was solid, and he played 10 years in the league, so I'm going to give him his props on that. Leon Lett turns 49. I mean, he was a very good player, but everybody knows he's known for a boneheaded play. Shout out to him.
He wasn't the brightest.
Falcons quarterback Chris Chandler turns 52 years old. So we'd like to give a nice big War Room salute to all of these folks on their birthdays.
Yay!
All right, I see we got some calls on the line. We'll probably end the show on that. But just in case we get some of these NFL topics off, NFL Rap is brought to you by Audible. You're scheduled too hectic to read as much as you want. Try audiobooks. Kick back and let someone else do the reading for you. All you got to do is visit Audible, sign up for your free trial at audibletrial.com. In no time, you can be listening to the latest bestsellers, hands-free, stress-free, or getting other things done at the very same time. So before we go into a few of the foosball stories for the week that's actually related to what happened on the field, let's go to the phone lines real quick. We got Rob calling in from California. Rob, what's going on, good brother? You're in the War Room. Welcome.
What's good, y'all? How y'all doing, man?
We good, man. Sorry for the wait. We're late in the show, so we definitely got to keep it quick. But your boys are playing on Thursday night, so I know what you're calling in for. What's on your mind?
On my mind, like, first things first, I'll say one thing. The girl who snitched on old boy, man, yo, she didn't do it for the culture. She probably mad that homeboy didn't pay her bills. You know, it is what it is. You know.
Oh, I'm 100% in agreement with you, but that's not how history's gonna look at it. So we got to make her the hero that she is. Like a lot of people still think that Rosa Parks sat on that bus because she was tired that day. Rosa Parks was a plant by the NAACP that was supposed to go down, but look what happened afterwards. So hey, some things aren't what it's made out to be. But if she's going to say I did this because of how they treat these young black athletes, then we got to take that woman at her word because she's going to go down in history as the Coke Buster. But all right, go ahead, Rob.
Oh God. Okay, man. But I'm gonna tell you like this, man. Okay, old boy, and old boy. What's his name? Oh, hello.
Yeah, we here. We listen to you, man, and all the background noise. Hurry up.
Oh, boy.
Rob, you got to say something.
Old boy Joel and me. Old boy Joel, he is long legend. I did see a little, what's that dude that plays? I did see a little, what's that dude from the Timberwolves? I did see a little. He got skills, but can he stay healthy? Is he going to be a young legend, or is he going to be a young Greg Oden? That's
from the Timberwolves. Who, Kevin Garnett? That's what you talking about?
No.
You talking about
he was drafted.
The current center on the Timberwolves.
The current center.
Carl Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
Anthony Towns.
What about it?
You know, the things that he did, I did see a little of that. And Joel, he is athletic. He does do stuff. He does have very superior athleticism. I think.
No, you see a little Carl Anthony Towns. You see a little Joel Embiid in Karl Anthony Towns. Joel older than him.
Joel only played 30-some games, man. Let's be honest. But the game tonight, man. I'm gonna go with probably the Eagles over 5 because I think Fletcher Cox is back. You know what I'm saying? We got Chris Long, Fletcher Cox in there, so it's gonna be a great game.
All right, I'm looking forward. I know why you're laughing.
You rooting against the black quarterback?
It's hard to say their names together.
Well, wasn't it the same quarterback who said he doesn't see color? So he ain't gonna see color, but he's gonna see a couple brothers pounce on him and help him make him turn purple. But that's all I gotta say about that, man. And as far as NBA, I do, because I haven't talked about the Cavs. Well, do y'all think the Cavs do have a chance if they was to play the Warriors or the Thunder? And do you think, and I want to ask Dev, do you think Russell Westbrook can play or will play as a pure point guard? Do you think he can do that in order for him to bring everybody together?
Yeah, they got a chance. They got a chance in hell.
I don't think Westbrook, and I'm a big Westbrook fan. Like, I don't think you're ever going to say Westbrook and pure point guard in the same sentence. That's just, it's just something we got to get used to. I mean, the dude can do it all, but he's a scoring machine. And that alone is going to, take you out of the category of being a pure point guard. If you look at the roster, even with the new guys that they have, when the going gets rough, it's still going to be West. I mean, it's going to be him. Like, Carmelo has been clutch in his time, but I just think I don't even know, and I'm a Carmelo fan too, but I don't even know if he and Westbrook, I don't even know if their games can even mesh. Like, that's just two dudes going two different speeds. I think Paul George can adjust and adapt to, whichever one of those guys he was playing with. But Carmelo and Westbrook at the same time, I have to see it be successful to believe it. But this is the NBA. It's very top heavy. So when I say that, that basically means once they get, in the playoffs and once they play against top tier teams, because before that, talent is just going to trump anything. It doesn't matter if they can't play together. They're just going to be better than most of the teams in the league. But, Rob, we got to go. We only got a couple minutes left, and we still got a couple calls on the line. Good luck to the Birds tonight, and we'll wrap to you about next
Jamil
week.
Hill. You know what I'm saying? Yo, he's in the West Coast. Shannon Sharpshire says, bring some. I got the Endo and gin juice, not freaking Hen Rock. Yo, man, you in the West Coast, bro. We do gin juice and Endo, okay?
All right.
So I got
I did that in the early 90s. But I'll holler at you. I ain't even heard the words Endo and gin and juice since Snoop. I got to be listening to old school.
Yo.
We got another call on the line. Let's go to Joe Pittsburgh. Joe, sorry for the wait. Welcome to the War Room.
Thanks, guys. Hey, I have a theory on the protests and Donald Trump here. Recently, I've been doing a lot of research and biographies on Donald Trump, and he never forgets anything. He holds grudges his whole life.
Oh, yeah.
If you remember back in the mid-'80s when he was the main guy for the New Jersey Generals of USFL, he actually won the case against the NFL, but he was insulted and rewarded $3, basically putting the USFL out of the league. Now, I honestly, in my opinion, don't feel he cares about the flag. I think he is trying to pit the owners against the players. He's trying to get them to go at each other, and he doesn't even have a real side that he cares. He just wants to see the NFL hurt like he was back at the USFL. Now, I'm a Dallas Cowboys
an amazing perspective.
That is here's more. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, and Jerry Jones, early in his career, was a good owner. at this point, he's getting in the Al Davis territory where he's getting old. He's not making good decisions both on and off the field. I think Trump targeted Jerry Jones because he knows that he still has power and can get the players to do these things. He made Jerry Jones look like a fool now, and basically he had the players going at the owners, and he's just sitting back laughing, tweeting it, all hours of the morning trying to stir things up.
No, Joe, I believe everything that you're saying. I think, like Bielsa just said, I think you made some excellent points. The first one being, I already think Donald Trump's whole presidency, not the whole presidency, but a good portion of his presidency is the Donald Trump revenge tour. So, anybody who's wronged him in business, back in the day, like he's going to do something to tweak them just because he can. And he wants to show you, I'm now the quote unquote leader of the free world, and everybody who's ever crossed me the wrong way, something's going to happen to you. Even if it's not big, like he's going to tweak people. So I agree. I think those are wonderful points you made. And we definitely appreciate your call. We're about to get out of here in a few minutes, but we hope to hear from you in the coming weeks, man. Thanks for your call.
Thanks, gentlemen.
All right. Joe Picture, that was a great call, B.
Yo, it definitely is because it goes what we said earlier. Bull is just mad petty.
Yeah. All right. Well, y'all know your guy Odell Beckham broke his ankle. The Giants also lost Brandon Marshall for the season in the same game. Both of these guys are getting ankle surgery. They had two more receivers go down. I don't think those were season-ending injuries. And Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie has been suspended by the team because he and head coach McAdoo had a heated argument. Rodgers-Cromartie came into the Giants facility the next day, but then after some more discussions, he decided to leave. So the Giants were left with nothing else to do but to suspend him indefinitely. Sounds very familiar to us. The guys who are from Philadelphia. Could be a T.O. situation brewing where he's just going to sit it out until they could possibly, get him out of town. But the Giants have basically fallen all the way apart. This is a team that I picked to win this division, and it's looking like the most foolish pick that I've made since we've been doing this.
Don't worry, I was right there with you.
Bad? I figured, yeah, but so you have to be surprised at them being 0-5. It's like me picking them to win the division and, them not being that good of a team. That's not that shocking because winning the division in the NFC East could come with 9 wins. But to be 0-5 and now any hope that they have is going under the knife this week.
Well,
can't say I feel for them.
I'm going to say this. I believe, and I believe in the Tuna's old mantra, you are your record. But I don't believe that they're truly 0-5 in terms of overall talent. I think their offensive line, deserves to be sent to the gulag in the far northern reaches of Russia because their offensive line is dastardly. And Eli, I think if you protect him, he's still a very good quarterback. If you don't protect him, whatever little bit of athleticism he had retired with his brother Peyton. He can't get away from anything.
B, we got to go. We're out of town, dude.
Yeah.
10 seconds, though. I'll give you 10 seconds on this. Is Adrian Peterson going to help the Cardinals? 10 seconds.
Yeah. Not tonight, but yes.
They don't play tonight. So
it's time for us to get out of here, but I just want to say one thing. Shout out to the Giants. At least none of y'all got locked up in the off season. But it's time for us to get out of here. Thank you, good brothers and sisters, for joining us.
Fresh pair of J's.
Shout out to everybody in the chat room, Facebook, Twitter, our WRS Game Time app on GroupMe, and all the calls that got through. We appreciate those we couldn't get to. We apologize. Special thanks to Gus for his investment picks for the week. Tune in next week, live right here on demand on the WRS Podcast Network. We're going to recap Week 6 and preview Week 7 of the NFL. We'll catch you up on all the dumb ish that the president says and everything else in the world of sports that has nothing to do with sports because that's what's going on in sports. So until then, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your week, and we'll see you right back here again. Catch all of our conversations, everything we do on social media as far as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of our blogs, webcasts, network podcasts. Everything we do can be found at the hub, and that's warroomsports.com. Also, pick up my book. You can do that at sportstobook.com or right back at the hub, which is warroomsports.com. So until next time, everybody, don't accept mediocrity. Be steadfast in the war against ignorance, and we'll see you chumps on top.
Control your egg.
6 to 8, they do this. Shout out to Dev, PJ, B. Austin, Bay on replay. WarRoomSports.com. Get that mobile app. If not, dial 323-140012. They be going and you sensitive, then oh well. Physical podcast, let's talk sports. Showtime like magic in the block push. Listen live, push one to join in. Rip your team or listen for your enjoyment. Hip hop scholars, pit stop and knowledge. Should be in sports credits, I ain't talking college. 5 guys, no beef though. Corporate secret, but the streets know. Belafonte, I got a G flow. KC, royalty, I'm in beast mode. 2 hours, get your game up. Who's the best in sportscast? You better name us. War Room Sports. Yeah, you know, Jimmy, Dev, PJ, Jack Bay, B. Austin. I'm Jack. Up here coming on the beat.
War Room Sports, www.warroomsports.com. What? Ain't no more to it.